Hi students, today we have to talk about a new lesson, that is chapter 10 in biozoology, chapter 11 in zoology, that is organisms and populations. Simply we can say, we are going to talk about ecology, a new topic. What is ecology? Now the term ecology in Greek actually derived from the Greek word oikos means house and logos means study. The study of house. That means the study of environment, we can say simply. We have interactions between the living organisms and the environment and between the living organisms, and that constitutes what is called ecology. Simply we can say the study of interactions between the organisms and the environment. This is one aspect we can see. We have different fields of what is called ecology. Now the term ecology was given by Ritter in 1868. He only has given the term ecology, that is based on what we have house. That is here house referring to the surrounding, or we can say the environment, or we can say the medium. Because each and every species has its own medium or environment, or we have the surrounding. So now the environment is a collective term which includes what we have. Generally, the different conditions. We'll talk about later. So, the term ecology was given by Ritter in 1868, but the definition of ecology was given by Ernst Haeckel in 1869. Now, simply I can say the study of interactions between the organisms and the environment is called ecology, newly called environmental science. Now we have definition as per the above. Now the study of environmental house, that is a living place, which includes all the organisms in it and all the functional processes that make what we have the house habitable, living. Making the house habitable means making the house living, suitable for living. This is the definition as per the above. Study of environmental house includes what we have, all the organisms in it, and what we have the various functional processes normally done by the environment or done by the population or any living thing that make the house habitable. The various processes that make the living thing just to be, the house to be suitable for living. Then we have different levels of organization in ecology. We have 1, population. Number 2, community. Number 3, ecosystem. Number 4, what is called biome. And number 5, ecosphere. These are all the different levels of what we have, that is ecology, different fields. So, the various levels, what I mentioned, the 5 different levels as per the book: population, community, that is what we have the ecosystem, biome, and finally ecosphere. You'll see one by one the definition first, then we'll go into the lesson. Now what is population? So a population normally comprises of only one species. A group of individuals of any one kind of organism. For example, animal population, generally speaking, plant population. Or we can say goat population, human population. Or we have tiger population. In all cases, a population comprises of only one kind of individual. That is called a population. Okay. So in ecology, the term population, originally coined to denote a group of people, is broadened to include a group of individuals, a group of people which includes a group of individuals of any one kind of organism. That is, a population is formed of only one, a group of individuals of similar species, a group of individuals of similar individuals. So for example, I mentioned goat population, tiger population, or simply generally we can say plant population or animal population. Not specifically we can say generally. Specifically speaking, I mentioned about what we have bryophyte population, pteridophytes population. So like that we have population is the one which is formed of only one kind of organism. What is a community? A collection of many populations together constitute a community. For example, in community, we have plant population, animal population, human population. Specifically, for example, we have cattle population or poultry population like that. So many populations living together in a given area. That's called a community. So population is comprising of only one type of species, whereas a community is formed of many populations. all living together in a given area. See, community is actually in ecological sense. We are talking about in terms of ecology. All the populations occupy in a given area. All the populations, different populations. So for example, if you are taking Pondicherry, in Pondicherry we have together the animals of goat population, cattle population, human population and other populations. A community is nothing but a collection of many populations. A population is comprising of only one type of individuals. Now let's go other definitions. Ecosystem is an ecological unit consisting of both biotic and abiotic factors of the environment. As per the book, the definition is community, which includes only the biotic factors, and the non-living environment, which includes the abiotic factors like soil, water, light, temperature, etc., function together as the ecological system. That's why I said the interactions between the abiotic and biotic factors constitute the ecosystem. So, an ecosystem is an ecological unit consisting of one, abiotic factors, number two, biotic factors. Now, I mentioned about abiotic factors, the various gases, water, soil, etc. Then the biotic factors, nothing but the community of plants, animals, etc. For example, pond ecosystem. Pond is an example of ecosystem. Forest is an example of ecosystem. For example, the tropical forest. Anything else. So in that one we have the living organisms plus what we have the non-living components, and that is called ecosystem. So community and a non-living environment. The community forms the biotic environment, and we have the non-living environment, what we have the abiotic factors, function together as ecosystem or ecological unit, or we can say ecological system. The next one, biome. So biome, when compared to what is called the ecosystem, is the largest one. So it's the largest regional, localized regional areas or in a subcontinental area. That's why it's called biome is a term widely used for what? A large regional or subcontinental system. And that one is characterized by only one particular type of vegetation, more abundance. Other are also present, but one type of actual vegetation is most abundant. For example, tundra biome. We have the coniferous trees are abundant. Tropical forest. We have desert. Desert is a biome characterized by only one group of what is called the xerophytic plants. So, one group of plants forming the major type, that's why I mentioned about a major vegetation. That is called as a biome, characterized by only one group of plants, more in number. So, we have different biomes, we will discuss later. Tundra biome, what we have, the desert is a biome. We have tropical rainforest is the biome. What we have, the temperate forest is also a biome, etc. Now, what is ecosphere? When compared to other units, it's the largest one. And most nearly a self-sufficient, what is called actually biological system. Self-sufficient, having all its own components for life. Self-sufficient biological system, which includes all the living organisms normally found on the earth. And these living organisms are interacting together in the ecosphere, what for? To regulate, that is what is known as the growth, then the abundance, the number. Then we have the production and evolution. So it's the largest sufficient biological system. So that's why I'm mentioning it is the largest, most nearly self-sufficient biological system, which includes all the living organisms of the earth and also interacting with each other to regulate their growth, their abundance, their numbers, their reproduction and also evolution. The reproduction I'm mentioning is the production in terms of yield and evolution. So these are some of the what we call the definitions related to the organisms and populations. Now we have to go for what is the meaning of surrounding or environment. Each and every living organism has a specific environment or medium or surrounding with which the organisms continuously interact and develop adaptations, suitable adaptations for their survival in that environment. Now what is an environment? It is a collective term. So environment is a collective term which includes different conditions in which an organism is normally lives or is present. So different conditions, the surrounding medium having different conditions, in which an organism survives or lives or is present. That is called what is known as environment. We have a number of common factors, influencing factors, just normally influence the environment. So, the common and influencing factors of environment. The common and influencing factors of the environment includes what we have mainly the physical factors and also some chemical factors. Number 1, temperature. Number 2, light. Number 3, water. Number 4, pressure. And number 5, salinity. The word salinity refers to the amount of salt present in 1 kilogram of water. We are calculating salinity only for marine water. The amount of salt present in 1 kilogram of water is called what is known as its salinity. And all these factors are collectively known as abiotic components of the environment. All these factors are commonly known as the abiotic components of the environment. Now, so normally we have a number of factors I mentioned which affect the following factors of an organism. An organism's number, their growth, their distribution, its behavior and reproduction are influenced by various factors of the environment. What I mentioned about the abiotic factors, even some living factors also affect, particularly we are talking about the abiotic factors which affect what is called the various activities of an organism. That's about what we get the common and influencing factors of environment. Okay, abiotic components and what I mean by that one. So they constitute what is called the various factors of the environment which affect and influence about what we call the organism and its environment. Next we have to discuss something about habitat. Simply we can say the place of living, that is called as a habitat. As per the book, habitat refers to a place where an organism or community of organisms live. That is one. Which includes the biotic and abiotic components or the different conditions of the surrounding environment. That is called as a habitat. Either including abiotic or biotic factors, simply we can say the different conditions of the surrounding environment. The place of living, we can say environment, and with that environment, habitat is a living place. Now what is geographical range? Now a collection of all the habitat areas of a species constitute its geographical range. We have actually different organisms, or say one organism, say an example of peripatus. It is being distributed in different areas of the world discontinuously. So all these together collectively called as a geographical range. Where are they found? Either in the Western Ghats or Eastern Ghats or something like that. So the collection of all the habitat areas of a species. One species present in different habitats. That is what we call tropical forest, rainforest, etc. They constitute together what's called geographical range of the species. So geographical range of a species is nothing but that one. Now, organisms in that habitat interact with each other and can be part of trophic level. We'll talk about trophic level, the food level in food chain, and can be part of trophic levels, for example the producer level, consumer level, etc. That is called what is called the trophic levels. An organism may be a consumer or a producer like that, and each one represents a trophic level, a food level, then to form a food chain and food webs. So food chain is nothing but a linear chain, food web is in the form of a spider web. We'll discuss later about what is a food chain. Okay, so in which the food is being transferred in the form of energy from one level to another level. So anyway, normally the organisms which live in habitat interact with one another and can be part of food chain and can be part of trophic levels in the food chain or in the food web chain, in food web. That's about what we call number one. We have to go for the examples. We have different organisms have different habitats. According to the nature of the habitat, they interact together and adapted to that particular habitat. We are taking for example camel or desert animal, and we are taking for example the aquatic animals, how far they are adapting themselves to that habitat, either to the marine habitat or freshwater habitat, including the fishes. Let's take now. Now let's see what are the adaptations normally exhibited with animals in different habitats. Let's take first one adaptation of camel in xerophagic habitat, because it's living in desert, that is arid conditions where you have availability of water is less. Number 1. So camel in xerophytic habitat is able to use water more effectively and efficiently. How? Through its skin and respiratory system. To conserve water, to prevent its elimination, it excretes highly concentrated urine, what is called hypertonic urine, that means with a less amount of water. The next one, even it can withstand dehydration up to 25% of the body weight. When there is a loss of water from the body, it can withstand its condition up to a loss of 25% of the total body of the weight. That's the meaning for that one. So the animal has hooves, you know that humps. Humps are mainly concerned with the storage of fat. The fat is also indirectly storing water, metabolic water. So hooves and humps are suitable for survival in the sandy environment, what we have in the desert, the dry and sandy environment. Hooves for walking on sandy dry environment and humps for storage of fat. These are some of the adaptations what we are taking with reference to camel in xerophytic habitat. What about the adaptations in the case of aquatic animals? So they have to just to face what we have. Number 1, homeostasis. It's a problem for maintaining what is called the equilibrium. Number 2, they have to face what's called osmotic balance because of differential concentration of water. For example, in the case of marine water, outside water is more concentrated than the body fluids. So there is a loss of water. To prevent the loss, they have different mechanisms. When there is a loss of water, what will happen? Shrinkage of the cells occur. So they have adaptations to prevent the shrinkage or shrinking of cells. Okay, because of the exosmosis, water is moving out to a higher concentrated solution outside. So there is shrinking of the cell or the shrinkage of the cells. To prevent that one, they have certain adaptations. Now in the case of fresh water, there is what is called entry of water, gaining of water by endosmosis. As a result, what is happening? The cell is increasing in size. It is bloated with water. There is a chance of bursting of the cells. So these animals have developed adaptations to just what is called to prevent the bursting, or we can say what we have, the withstand the bursting of cells, to prevent the burst. So because of continuous entry of water, so in marine animal, water is lost. In freshwater animals, water is gained because inside medium is more concentrated than outside water. So the increase in water occurs inside the cells, leading to increased osmotic pressure, which causes the bursting of cells. So they have developed adaptations to withstand the bursting of cells. That's about the 2 adaptations you can see in the case of marine and freshwater animals in a different way, in opposite way. What are the adaptations of other aquatic animals? Let's say the fishes. Now they have fins for locomotion. They have the streamlined body. That condition is called aerodynamic condition. Then lateral line sense organ present on the lateral sides of the fishes in a long grooves, concerned with the sensory function. Now gills, for respiration. In some organisms, in the case of teleas, bony fishes, we have ascens for flotation. And in the kidneys, excretion. So we have glomerular kidneys. In the case of freshwater animals, for the excretion of large amount of water that enters the body. So glomerular kidney that helps in the excretion of large amount of water that enters the body in freshwater fishes. That's all about the habitat. We have to go for the next one in the next class. Thank you.